This week on Hobie Outdoor Adventures, we're continuing our road trip and heading east to Panama City, Florida, where we'll meet up with our old friend Jerry McBride. We'll surf launch right off the white sand of Panama City Beach for offshore fun and reef fishing. Welcome to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. Each week, we'll take the Hobies and peruse the country in search of adventure, fun, and fish. Whether we're drifting a stream, dissecting a lake, or covering an ocean, we'll show you the tips and tactics to make your next trip successful. Come with us, set your sail, and discover what life in a Hobie is all about. This is Hobie Outdoor Adventures. Welcome to the best beach on this side of paradise, Panama City Beach, Florida. The 27 miles of beautiful oceanfront, stunning white sand, and emerald green waters offer definite enjoyment. Hobie Outdoor Adventures joins up with one of the best kayak fishermen on the Gulf Coast, Jerry McBride. He recently landed a new job as editor-in-chief for Kayak Fish magazine and made Panama City, Florida, his home.
Well, I was literally sitting in the kayak catching trout when the phone rang, and normally I don't answer the phone when it rings when I'm fishing. I was offered a job running Kayak Fish magazine. I hesitated a little bit, but I'd worked pretty closely with the previous editor. I'd contribute to each of the issues, and I don't know, it just seemed like something I didn't want to pass up, so I pretty much accepted it right on the spot and went back to catching trout.
Jerry McBride is a great friend of mine. We've known each other through the kayak fishing industry for a long time. He's an incredible angler, both inshore and offshore. He's got tons of experience catching pretty much anything. So I'm really confident when I go out with Jerry, I pretty much know that we're gonna catch fish.
So we're gonna spend a couple days with Jerry. We're going out today, catch some grouper snapper, going tomorrow inshore for some trout and some redfish. So it's gonna be a fun time. Jerry's the Zen master with that rod for some speckled trout. So we're looking for some big fish from him and hopefully learn a thing or two.
These are two very knowledgeable fishermen. It's always fun to come in and fish with them. And frankly, because they're younger than I am, they're more willing to do the heavy lifting, which I normally get stuck doing. So it's almost like fishing on vacation. I don't have to tie their knots. You know, I may have to hold Morgan's hand a little bit, but I don't have to tie their knots. I don't have to take their fish off. And with these two, you know that you tell them that we'll start fishing at 6 a.m. That means we'll get in the water about the crack of 10:30. So there's not a lot of pressure on anybody here, apparently.
Keeton and I get to fish in a lot of different areas, in a lot of scenarios, and he's really experienced at bass angling and freshwater lakes, being from Texas. Well, the ocean is kind of what I grew up on, so I was really excited to get Keeton out here and do a little bit of a surf launch and show him how we can do it on the Hobies. And it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
For me, I don't do it a lot. Morgan, he's an old pro, but you know, seeing that surf crash, going, okay, I got to pick my way through this. And you know what? When Morgan kind of pointed out to me where the soft spot was, the deeper water, and it was a better area. And so we angled out and then cut up into the waves and made it out real quickly with a Mirage drive, and then just pedaled out to some GPS locations we had on our Lowrance. Found those, and the first one we stopped at was really not productive. There wasn't anything on it. So we decided we were going to go way up current 3 or 4 miles and find our next location.
So we called it, here's the rain. We're still about a 1.5 miles from shore. So we're just gonna keep on heading in. Luckily it's not raining too hard yet, but what a pity.
The current was really tough, so it took us a little longer than expected. By that time, the storms were coming. It looked pretty rough. Some lightning in the background, so we said, you know what, let's head in. We're heading in, Morgan sees something on some rocks, drops down, boom, hooks up.
It's a grouper. Cool. Whoa, it's a good grouper. Yeah, baby. I'm glad we stopped by Sunjammers and got the lip grippers. Because this guy's got some big teeth on him. Yeah, baby. Good gag grouper, and he inhaled that plug right there. It's a good sized gag grouper. There's a bunch of them down there. We marked that spot, but this current's flowing pretty hard. And I want to get this guy back down and get back on top of those fish. Okay, big girl. We'll swim her to life a little bit using the pedals here. And get her on her way. All right, we got offshore mayhem going on right now. It's raining, it's windy. We're preparing a buoy. We have the spot marked on the Lorentz, so we're gonna go back up there and drop that buoy on the spot, because we saw a lot of gag grouper on that spot. They're good size ones, so hopefully we can hook some more, man. Good job. Hey, thanks.
Hobie Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Lorentz Structure Scan 3D. Find, navigate, dominate. Rhino Rack, the world's most useful roof racks. Power Pole Micro Anchor, swift, silent, secure, and small. And by AFTCO, American Fishing Tackle Company. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. We're offshore fishing with Jerry McBride in Panama City, Florida. Jerry is a kayak fishing enthusiast who spends most of his free time chasing sea trout and redfish in the waters surrounding his Panama City home.
This area is so unique in its diversity of species. This is far enough north we actually have seasons here. They're not extreme like you're going to find obviously in the Midwest or Canada, but it gets cold enough that the species move around. There's a lot more migration than where I came from in South Florida. Roughly April, end of March maybe, up until the water cools off, the cold fronts in November. There's just an incredible array of species here, inshore, offshore. There's virtually anything you can catch in the southeast other than snook is right here in big numbers.
You know, a lot of times an offshore trip can cost you $1,000, $1,200 to hire a boat and go it offshore. And it's pretty expensive. But you know, it's funny, we had, you know, with your Hobie Cat, you can get out there and kayak out and go. There's a lot of kayak anglers. You can go learn how to do this with buddies. Once you get that kayak, locate your local club or community and start fishing. They're going to teach you what to do. You know what, St. Croix makes a great Triumph rod. It's not very expensive. It's a fantastic rod, and you can pull in nice big saltwater fish with that rod. We do it all the time. It was a 15 to 30, and man, it was fantastic on those snapper.
One of the key things to being successful when you go kayak fishing offshore is to have good electronics on your boat. You know, if you can see what's underneath you in the water, that's already a massive advantage. So first thing this morning, Jerry had a couple of GPS coordinates that he gave me. I plugged them into my fish finder. Keeton and I and Jerry all had Lorentz's. 3 species so far. The rain's clearing up a little bit. We found a little spot. We ran over with the Lorentz and marked a bunch of fish, and all of a sudden we've got a pretty awesome day on our hands.
And back to trying to get back to the marker. This is kind of where we've always fished before, just about a little farther out. I think, oh, maybe it's just, he's just got a big old jig on or something.
All right.
He's got something. Is it a porgy of some kind?
Yeah, probably. All right. I don't know what species of snapper or porgy this is, but he's extremely pretty. Circle hook right in the corner of the mouth. I made a little tactic change. We brought some frozen cigar minnows out here with us, and Keeton got a couple of fish on him, although I've had 4 bites, and this is the first fish that I've gotten. I had one really hard thump that felt like a snapper or a grouper or something, but I missed him. But I might go back to speed jigging and let him on his way.
Fish on. There's a hurt. Morgan, they're everywhere here. It's not very big, whatever it is. Oh God, hey, look at this. We got a big shark on it. Woo, hello. You know what this is? This little grouper's legal. That was an 8-foot shark trying to eat him. Whoa, look at that guy.
Yeah. Nice, nice fat snapper. Not bad at all. Oh man, this fish was so much fun. My biggest snapper, well, they're getting bigger. It's not seasoned. We're not keeping any of them, but we're gonna have a blast catching. We finally found some fish today. Sun's come out, it's gonna be good. See you, buddy.
All right, stay away from the sharks, buddy. Thank you so much. All right, I gotta find that herd again. I mean, there's just a mass of fish down there. As soon as it hits the bottom, it's getting hooked up.
More offshore fun in the sun and some rains when we come back. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. We're in Panama City Beach, Florida. With its trademark white sand and warm Gulf waters, Panama City Beach is one of the most enticing beaches in the U.S.
One of the reasons I moved up here is because this is so accessible. These white sand beaches are easy to put in on, and out here it drops off in a half a mile or so to 50, 55, 60 feet. So you don't have to go far here like you do on the other coast in a lot of places. You go out of Jacksonville, you'd have to go 40 miles to get to 100 feet of water. And out here, we were fishing in 60 to 70 feet of water today, and we were 2 miles offshore. Now that's typically still farther than I would bother to go. We usually fish 55, 60 feet out here and always catch lots of bottom fish anyway, and usually, the kings or whatever on the way out, so.
You don't want them teeth and you don't want those gill plates. You can get right under here. Get a nice grip. It's safe for you and him both. I'm just gonna do a quick release here. This guy's getting tired. There we go. Off the deep blue.
Cigar minnow, and lo and behold, oh, there's a good bite. Fish on. He's not big. All right, buddy. Get this out. Man, they have some teeth.
Oh, I'm telling you, you can feel rock down there.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, fish on.
I'm right behind you.
Every time I feel that rock, Morgs, it's like tap, tap, fish.
And this is why you want to use Lowrance electronics on your fish finder. I mean, it's like clockwork. We're running up to a spot that I have marked here on my GPS. We see the fish. This is a Lowrance Elite 5 HDI. They even have the chirp models now. For saltwater fishing, I like to use just regular sonar. You want to use a lower frequency in the salt water. You get a bigger angle with it, and it also penetrates the water with particles in it. That's a nice one.
Yeah. They're all about the same. They're all really nice fish. Every fish is a nice fish. Some are just a little bit nicer than others. There we go. I'm a huge fan of these circle hooks. It took me a long time to really start using them. I was a slow adapter, but it sure makes it easier to release these fish. All right. Bye, guy. Beautiful, beautiful fish.
There you go. Stay on the hook this time, buddy. Good egg takes.
I got one too. Oh wait, I don't have stinky bait on. How could I have one? Oh, Jerry lost his though.
Oh no. One thing I love about Jerry, he's a purist. You'll hardly I don't think you'll ever see him fishing live bait or dead bait, but he'll catch more fish than me normally just on artificial lures. Nice red snapper. All right, look at that guy. Beautiful red snapper. All right, buddy, hold on. Let me get this hook out of you.
Oh, I got a good one, Morg.
Oh yeah, Keaton's on. The red snapper are on fire right now. I was in the Revolution 13 today, Keeton was in the Pro Angler 14, and Jerry was in the Outback, and that just shows you we have a big selection of kayaks at Hobie that you can choose from to fish both in the Gulf, in rivers, in flat water, in lakes. You know, you can take a Hobie pretty much anywhere, and that's what we do with Hobie Outdoor Adventures. When you travel around the country and different parts of the world, we show that you can use these products in all different kinds of fisheries, and they're great for catching fish.
A little more difficult with the chop. Oh, nice big snapper. Wow. Nice big snapper. Oh, ho, 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 ho. How about that guy? Yes, yes, yes. There's my hook. Okay, hook is out. And you, bad boy. How about that snapper? Panama City Beach, too much fun. Here you go. We're fishing all day, we're driving all night, we're getting in and we're hitting it early. And it was hard to get up this morning. Probably the most difficult morning for me to get up. However, Morgan said, dude, let's go. It's rainy, you know, we almost came in. We got on the fish and it's been a fantastic day. Stay tuned.
Hobie Outdoor Adventures will be right back after these messages. Hobie Outdoor Adventures has been brought to you by Daiwa, advancing the sport of fishing. Ram Mounts, made in the USA, your best connection. Hobie Polarized, trusted, quality, heritage. And by St. Croix Rod, the best rods on earth.
Kayaks are so stable, and the rudder gives you such a big advantage, and you've got more instant power at your disposal with the drive, of course. So it's, and we all made it in today, which is pretty amazing because we had a pretty good break. I know, but by California standards, it didn't amount to much. But typically, somebody would take a little dunking out here coming in today, and we all shot right through it. In the summertime, this is so flat out here that it's really almost boring. A day like today is almost kind of fun. It's you know, a little bit of anticipation, a little adrenaline, and so this was fun. It was I had a great surf ride in. One of these days, I'm going to leave all the fishing gear at home and just come out here with the kayak and play around.
Ooh, ferocious little guy. The thing with these circle hooks, you get those hard taps and you want to set the hook, but you don't actually want to do that with a circle hook. You want the fish to eat the bait, take off swimming, and that hook will almost set itself. Oh, it is a fish. Wow, look. Looks like one of those fish we caught in Australia. Oh my gosh, I think it's a stonefish. Yeah, this thing looks poisonous for sure. Looks like some kind of, like in the rockcod family. But, I don't know. I'm a little bit scared of him. This is the thing about coming to places that you don't know a lot about. If you do run into any kind of maybe poisonous fish, that's a good question to ask the locals next time.
In a kayak particularly, I just like keeping things simple. I don't like spending time chasing live bait or stopping at the tackle store. I can have all this stuff rigged up the night before. Everything fits right in that little 8-inch hatch right in front of the seat on any of the Hobies. I guess it's the sense of independence, the self-reliance that I like about it. I like the fact it keeps me somewhat in shape. We burned a lot of calories today, and I feel like when I go out there and we catch, you know, a whole bunch of red snapper or whatever, or if we go catch trout or redfish tomorrow, I feel like I earned them somehow a little bit more than if I just jumped in a boat and roared over to them, turned off the motor, and started fishing. And what's better than going fishing and staying in shape at the same time?
We were all catching fish today, and that's what was fun about the day. It was just one after the other, you know, and what was funny is the current and wind were blowing the same direction. And that was, you know, luckily with Mirage drive all the way up, drop down, get bit, and then while you're fighting the fish, you're drifting. And thank goodness Jerry brought the marker buoy. And Morgan and I, we had our Lowrances, so we could pinpoint and target things, but it's much easier when you have that buoy there to run right at it, then look at your fish finder and find the fish. Nothing like fishing in paradise, Panama City Beach. We have this white sand, beautiful water, and then I think the storm's gonna move in pretty soon and hopefully wash off all our gear that got nice and salty today. But just great time here at Panama City Beach.
Next week, Jerry McBride, the trout master, will take us to explore Panama City inshore fishing. Stay with us for some backwater adventures. See what we can catch inshore. Hopefully trout, redfish, and maybe flounder. You never know. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next episode of Hobie Outdoor Adventures.